Here is a number I want you to hold on to. $14,400. That is not rent. That is not a car payment. That is the amount the average American spends every single year not to live better, but to look like they're living better. And the terrifying part, most of them have no idea they're paying it. Today we are breaking down the hidden tax that nobody talks about, the one you chose, the one you keep renewing, and the one that is quietly, mathematically destroying your shot at financial freedom. Let me introduce you to two guys. Same city, same age, same job title, same $82,000 salary. We'll call them Jordan and Derek. Jordan drives a 2023 Ram 1500, crew cab, midnight black, the truck that makes you slow down when it passes you in a parking lot. He's got the threads to match, fresh Nikes, AirPods Max, a rotation of outfits you'd scroll past on Instagram at double tap without even thinking. His apartment is in the part of town where the buildings have a name, not just an address, a name. He went to Miami for a long weekend in March, posted every meal. Derek drives a 2020 Honda Civic with 61,000 miles on it. He lives in a perfectly ordinary two-bedroom in a perfectly ordinary zip code. His coworkers have never seen him wear anything that cost more than $40. He did not go to Miami. He went to his cousin's cabin in the mountains and ate food they brought from home. Now, tell me which one has money. If you said Jordan, you just failed the most important financial literacy test of your life, and the system that failed you has been running this trick for decades. Jordan has $340 in his checking account. Derek has $143,000 in a Vanguard index fund. Same salary, two completely different financial realities, and the gap between them has a name. Economists call it conspicuous consumption. I call it the status tax. And today we are going to figure out exactly how much you are paying. Before we go any further, I need you to think about something. Picture the last time you got a new car, or new shoes, or moved somewhere nicer. Remember that feeling, that brief moment of, I made it? Now answer honestly. How long did it last? Cornell psychologists ran a study where they made participants wear an embarrassing t-shirt into a crowded room. Afterward, participants were asked, what percentage of people in that room do you think noticed your shirt? The average guess? 50%. The actual number? 23%. We overestimate our audience by more than double every single day. The car you're making payments on, half the people you think are noticing it aren't. The apartment in the trendy zip code, the coworkers aren't calculating your rent, they're thinking about their own stuff. Psychologists call this the spotlight effect, and it is the most expensive cognitive bias nobody is talking about in personal finance. Because when you understand the spotlight effect, you realize something brutal. The status tax isn't just draining your bank account, it's draining it for an audience that isn't watching. Let me show you Jordan's monthly budget in real time, not to embarrass Jordan, to recognize Jordan, because Jordan is everywhere. Jordan might be you. Jordan brings home roughly $5,050 a month after federal and state taxes and FICA. Here is where it goes. Truck payment on the Ram 1500, $891. Truck insurance. New trucks are expensive to insure, because of course they are, $240. Gas. Ram gets about 18 mpg, Jordan commutes 30 miles each way, $290. The named apartment, $1,580. Utilities, phone and internet, $310. Groceries. Jordan buys name brand everything, $430. Dining out. This one is sneaky. Jordan averages $820 per month because it's never just dinner, it's the experience. Subscriptions, $195. Student loans, $360. Health insurance premium not fully covered by his employer, $175. Total, $5,291 per month. Jordan takes home $5,050. He's spending $241 more than he earns every single month before we even touch clothing, birthday dinners for other people, Amazon impulse buys, and the $8,200 sitting on a credit card at 22% interest. The minimum payment on that alone is $185 per month, just to stay in place, not to pay it down, just to not sink faster. This is what financial researchers call lifestyle inflation. When income goes up, spending goes up to match it, sometimes exceeds it. The paycheck grows, the life around it expands to absorb it, and the net worth stays flat.
Jordan is not broke. He makes $82,000 a year, but he is one car repair away from a financial crisis. The transmission goes, that's $4,000 he doesn't have. A medical bill comes in, it goes on the card. His dog gets sick, he's financing veterinary care at 22% interest. This is not a life. This is a performance with a subscription fee. Here is something the car dealer will never tell you. The excitement you feel when you drive off the lot in a new vehicle, neuroscience has a name for what happens to it. It's called hedonic adaptation. The brain's reward response to a new purchase peaks within the first few days. Then, within 3 to 6 weeks, your nervous system recalibrates. The new car stops being the new car. It becomes just your car. The car you owe $891 a month on. The car that's already depreciated $6,000 since you signed the paperwork. Behavioral economist Dan Ariely's research shows this pattern is not a flaw in some people. It is a feature of all human brains. We are wired to adapt to new normals. That's why you need to upgrade to keep feeling the same thing. That's why the truck becomes the better truck, becomes the truck with the nicer package. It is not a character flaw. It is a subscription service for a feeling you will never permanently own. And someone is getting paid while you run that subscription. Now let's run Derek's numbers. Same $5,050 take-home. Used Civic, no payment, paid cash for it 18 months ago, $0. Insurance on a 2020 Civic, $97. Gas, Civic gets 36 mpg, $130. Apartment in a solid, unfashionable neighborhood, $1,150. Utilities, phone, internet, $265. Groceries, store brand where it doesn't matter, which is most places. Consumer Reports blind tests find store brand identical to name brand over 55% of the time, $305. Dining out, real enjoyment, not performance. Derek chooses based on what he actually wants to eat, not what photographs well, $280. Subscriptions, 2 streaming services, Spotify, nothing forgotten, $32. Student loans, $360. Health insurance, $175. Total, $2,794 per month. Derek has $2,256 left every single month. Every month, without fail. That goes into a low-cost index fund and does not get touched. Same salary, same city, same age, $2,256 difference per month. Now let me show you what boring actually buys. $2,256 per month invested in a broad market index fund at the S&P 500's historical average of roughly 10% annually. In 10 years, $431,000. In 20 years, $1.6 million. In 30 years, $4.9 million. From the difference between a Ram and a Civic. From cooking more and performing less.
Derek's annual expenses are $33,528.
Under standard FIRE math, financial independence retire early, you need 25 times your annual expenses invested to live indefinitely off returns. Derek's number is $838,200. He crosses that somewhere around year 15. He's 45 years old and financially free, not because he made more, but because he kept more. Jordan's annual expenses are over $63,000. His target is $1.575 million. And since he's not saving anything, since the truck and the dinners and the credit card interest are eating everything, he isn't moving toward that number. He's sprinting on a treadmill in really nice shoes. Thomas Stanley spent 20 years studying actual American millionaires, verified 7-figure net worths, not people who looked the part, people who were the part. The #1 car brand among American millionaires? Toyota, followed by Honda, then Ford. The average millionaire drives a vehicle that is roughly 4 years old. Only 5.7% have ever spent more than $1,000 on a suit. The typical millionaire's last haircut costs $16, including tip. Nearly 40% regularly buy wine that costs around $10 a bottle. Here's the one that should break your brain. 86% of luxury cars sold in America are purchased by non-millionaires. 86%. The gleaming truck at the red light, the leased German sedan, statistically, overwhelmingly, not wealthy people. People spending like wealthy people as a strategy to feel like wealthy people, which is a strategy that mathematically prevents becoming wealthy people. It is almost elegant in how perfectly self-defeating it is. The Ramsey Solutions National Survey surveyed over 10,000 confirmed millionaires. 79% received no inheritance. 1 in 3 never made 6 figures in a single year. They built it the boring way, decade by decade, car by unremarkable car. Here is the part that most finance content skips, and it's the most important part. Stopping status spending doesn't feel like a financial decision. It feels like a statement about who you are. When Jordan thinks about trading the Ram for a Civic, he doesn't immediately calculate the $891 he'd be free up. He thinks, what does this say about me? What does my coworker think when he sees me pull into the lot? What do I say when someone asks what I drive?
Consumer psychologists have documented something called extended self theory, the idea that we incorporate our possessions into our sense of identity. The car, the apartment, the brand on the shirt aren't just objects. They're chapters in the story you're telling about who you are. Trading the truck doesn't feel like downgrading a vehicle. It feels like editing the story, like admitting something. And here's the trap within the trap. The people you're performing for aren't neutral observers. They're running their own performance simultaneously. The coworker who you think is judging your car, he's doing math in his head about whether his insurance clears before his paycheck. He is not watching you. He does not have the bandwidth. He is Jordan too. A 2010 study in the Journal of Marketing found something revealing. Genuinely wealthy people overwhelmingly prefer subtle status signals, things only other wealthy people recognize. The loud logo, the oversized truck, the ostentatiously expensive accessory, those are statistically associated with people spending upward, trying to signal into a group they haven't joined yet. It's a game where the finish line keeps moving, and the entrance fee is paid monthly. Let me give you a conservative annual total. The status tax, the amount above what a functionally equivalent life costs, paid purely for the signal. Vehicle premium, new versus reliable used, around $7,800 a year. Dining performance versus dining enjoyment, around $6,000 a year. Name brand groceries versus store brand, Consumer Reports, no detectable difference in over half of tested categories, around $1,500 a year. Neighborhood premium, the zip code with the name versus the zip code that's just fine, around $5,160 a year. Subscription creep, the services you forgot you were paying for, around $960 a year. Vacation debt, 26% of Americans currently carry debt from a trip they've already taken, variable but often $2,000 to $4,000 in interest per year. Conservative total, $14,000 to $18,000 per year. That is the status tax, and you are paying it willingly, monthly, automatically, to maintain an image in front of people who have statistically already looked away. Here is what the research shows happens after you make the shift. The same hedonic adaptation that made the truck feel normal after 3 weeks of excitement, it makes the Civic feel normal after 3 weeks of discomfort. The brain recalibrates again, only this time in your favor. And on the other side, people who make this shift consistently report the same thing. There was a chronic background financial stress they'd stopped consciously registering, a low hum of anxiety about payments, about the account balance, about what happens if something breaks, and its absence feels better than any purchase they made to quiet it. The Camry becomes just the car, but the $2,256 a month keeps compounding.
Researchers at Harvard Business School found that wealthy people, compared to the general population, spent significantly more time on active leisure and significantly less time doing things they felt obligated to do. The luxury they were consuming wasn't a product, it was the absence of obligation. Real wealth, the kind worth building, looks like a Tuesday morning. You wake up, make coffee, the calendar is yours. Not a vacation day, not a reward, not a weekend you earned by grinding through a week you resented. Just Tuesday. And Tuesday belongs to you. That is what Derek's $2,256 per month is actually buying. Not in the account yet, but on the way. Quietly, arithmetically, compounding while he sleeps. He is not interesting at parties. Nobody slow rolls past his car in the parking lot. He ordered the house wine and asked if the table wanted to split the fries. And at 45, he is going to wake up on a Tuesday morning with $843,000 in an index fund and the absolute, total, complete freedom to go nowhere. Not because he can't afford to go somewhere, because he doesn't have to. If you are sitting with a truck payment and a credit card balance and an account that doesn't grow, I want to say something clearly before we close. You are not bad with money. You are not shallow. You are not failing at adulthood. You are running software that was installed in you by an economy that profits every single month you keep running it. The dealership, the credit card company, the algorithm that showed you what success is supposed to look like. None of them make money the moment you say, actually, this doesn't work for me. Stop performing for people who aren't watching. Start building for the Tuesday morning that's waiting for you on the other side. If this breakdown hit differently and you want to keep understanding money the way they never taught you in school, please like this video so it reaches the people who need it and subscribe to Decoded. We decode the psychology, the systems, and the real mechanics behind wealth so you stop reacting to your finances and start understanding them. One video at a time. See you in the next one.